Hello, folks. My name is Detroit Miracle, and I am here for a movie review of Thor 4, Thor, Love, and Thunder. Yeah, I've been seeing a whole lot of backlash all throughout social media where people are saying they totally hated the movie because they thought it was overly silly or funny. There are even some people who said they hated the movie because of the pacing or whatnot. But I'm here to tell you that I love that movie. I found it very enjoyable. I thought it was an epic, action packed thrill ride with great action scenes, great magical power scenes, and great camaraderie amongst the characters involved. Yeah, I didn't have a problem that they turned the movie into a comedy. Hey, they did the same with Thor 3 Ragnarok, and it turned out great. So they did the same with Thor Love and Thunder. I would have only had problems with it if the action was terrible, it didn't have enough action in it, or the story just didn't make sense. But everything, the story, everything with the people involved, the characters, the direction that they went as far as the coursing of the events, I didn't have any problem with it. It sat well with me. Yeah. Now it was one thing that I did have a problem with in the film, and that was the fact that they did turn Zeus into a comedy joke, and I didn't like that at all. Yeah, I had no problem with the rest of the movie being funny or comical, but when they did that to Zeus, I said, wait a minute, that doesn't work at all. That's terrible. Why would they do that? Now, I'm the first in line to have a problem and lodge a complaint with regard to the Zeus scene. I said, what? They did that to Zeus? Hey, Zeus in the MCU is comparable to Asgard's Odin character. And Odin is serious and he's to be taken serious. So they were supposed to do the same with Zeus since he's comparable to Odin. So why would they turn Zeus into some kind of joke like that? It didn't make any sense at all. And that's where the writer like went overboard with the comedy stuff. Yeah. Even if he did a comedy movie comprised of many humorous moments in which people either thought was funny or not funny, they should have kept Zeus completely and entirely serious. In fact, they should have had Zeus scary serious. Yeah. When Thor irritated him, Zeus should have activated lightning eyes and that thunderbolt should have lit up with coursing energy, and Zeus should have even made thunder outside. It should have been like a scary scene. We know it was lighthearted. Everything was like festive in that particular realm, and then Zeus's throne room, if you want to call it that. But once Thor came and invaded that, and Zeus told him no, they should have had Zeus turn ugly right after that. And that's when Hercules should have been introduced. At that time, they could have had it like Hercules was there, and then he intervened to challenge Thor for a fight, and then they fought, and then you could sort of determine their strength level at that case and at that moment, because Thor's strength is on par with Hercules' strength. Yeah, but we know Hercules has incredible strength, like on the level of the Incredible Hulk, and we know that they just gave Thor added strength, which makes him as strong as the Incredible Hulk, but they didn't have Thor that strong in the other Thor movies or even in the initial Avenger films. Yeah, but that's when Thor should have fought Hercules, and that when he irritated Zeus, Hercules should have stepped up and defended Zeus's honor. He should have said, "No, Father, let me. You shouldn't waste your time with this mirror deity right here. Let me teach him a lesson." And that would have been out cold. But that tone when they went to the, what do they call it, the heavenly plane or beautiful, whatever they called it. I looked at it as Mount Olympus. But when that happened, when Thor went there with his group, the epic fight should have been between Hercules and Thor instead of Zeus and Thor. And they had Thor beat Zeus relatively easy, and I didn't like that. That was crazy how he was able to apparently kill Zeus at the moment, but we know Zeus wasn't dead. So you see where I'm going. The only part of the film that I had a major problem with was the Zeus scenes and involving that whole type of theme there where the gods didn't apparently care about anything or anyone. They were only just preoccupied with themselves, parties and orgies or whatnot. Hey, and that's cool too, but they should have at least kept it on a serious tone. Now, getting back to the rest of the story, I got to be specific. The way they gave Jane the power of Thor was cool. And Jane and Valkyrie wasn't acting all comical. They were on a serious tip. But everybody would say comical things here and there, but nevertheless, I think that Jane made a good Thor. I liked her action scenes and the way she figured out how to use the axe or the hammer in ways that even Thor couldn't. Man, remember when she used it, she had it break apart into many fragments and shoot through those things, destroying those monsters. That was cool. I like how they added that. I like the stuff with Valkyrie in it, and she's always a little bit on the serious side. I like the way they fought well together and worked well together. It was like a buddy adventure when they went off and they tried to rescue the kids and stuff. And I like how Thor empowered the kids so that they had the power themselves, or he amplified their Asgardian powers and increased them. Now, it's something I got to get with Gore the God Butcher. I thought his character was cool. I like that character. I like how they set it up. I had no problem with him, but it was one thing. I didn't really like the sword. I thought it looked like something in a King Arthur movie. Hell, that was supposed to be a god killer sword, so they should have had it look a little bit more phenomenal. And it looked like an earth sword. Like it had like almost like something you'll pull out of the rock, the King Arthur myth thing. They could have made that sword much more cooler. So I probably didn't like the sword. And another thing with Gore, they should have showed him maybe slay a couple of more gods in the film. Like they could have even had it like there were powerful gods that were putting up a fight, but nevertheless, Gore managed to deal that god a killing strike or blow. But other than that, like I said, the film was terrific. I didn't want to walk out of the movie at any time. But when I saw that Zeus scene, I was like, wait a minute, I'm discouraged. They killed the whole mood with that. They didn't take Zeus serious. They didn't project him to the general public in a serious way. And then they had Thor kill him that easy. He was supposed to be a Skyfather level deity pantheon, immensely powerful, and Thor just somehow killed him with a lightning bolt. So I didn't think that worked, but we know that Zeus wasn't dead. And then later it showed him recuperating from his injury and wound. And yeah, I like and at the closing credit scenes when he introduced Hercules, I thought that was cool. And then they sort of finally had Zeus act serious on the serious tip, which they should have initially did before. And then with Jane going to the afterlife, I like that scene with the whole Valhalla look, but compared to where Zeus lived, Valhalla didn't look that extraordinary or amazing. It looked at like something very beautiful in the mountains with nice scenery, rocky scenery, and it had one big mansion building. But compared to where Zeus was living, he was balling out of control. So the Valhalla realm didn't live up to what you would expect it would look like. I think they could have had that much more spectacular and amazing looking. But overall, I'm gonna rate the film out of 1 through 10. I'm gonna say probably a 7. I give it a 7 because they destroyed the Zeus thing. The Zeus thing was so anticipated and people expected much more out of it than that, especially me. But they ruined that experience. So I'm giving the film a 7. Yeah, for that. But other than that, I loved and enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to say that it was my best comic book superhero experience because I like the Avenger movies much more. I even like the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League film much more. I like the Superman movies much more. I like some of the Batman movies much more than that. But nevertheless, Thor, Love and Thunder was pretty good. Oh, I got to get to the daughter part at the end. I thought that was cool when he adopted that young lady who was the daughter of Gore, and then they gave her magical powers and abilities similar to Thor, and probably much more than what Thor had because she could do things that Thor couldn't. Like she shot something out of her eyes and melted something like that. So I like that. And then when they ran off into a father-daughter adventure, I thought that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, folks. Well, I had to give my take on the film. And there it is. And I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. Peace out.